today's video is sort of a part 2. In my last video, I showed you a new release by Buxom. They released 2 new 5-pan minis inspired by the original Dolly palette that was released several years ago. So I had thought it would be fun to take a walk down memory lane and see if these minis were as good as I remembered the original to be. I only got one in and one lippy in. Well, the other one arrived, so I thought I'd show you what that looks like. I'd compare the two, show you a few other products, and talk about a new adventure on my channel. That sounds like something you'd like to hear about? Stick around. We're about to get right into it. Thank you for spending some of your time with me today. I'm Mona. On this channel, we talk about living our best half and our second half. We include makeup, we include skincare, and we include lifestyle. If those are topics you're interested in, consider hitting the subscribe button and joining the family, hitting the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. I try to upload every single Sunday, and occasionally I throw in some extras. So this Diva Dolly palette by Buxom is 5 pans. It's a mini in a cardboard package with a mirror. This one is $26 for 4.3 grams or 0.15 ounces. I also showed you in the last video the Darling Dolly, so go back and look at that one if you might be interested. This one is 4.3 grams or 0.15 ounces, same for $26. And these are the 2 color stories. One is supposed to be sort of an angelic look, and it's a little warmer. And one is supposed to be more of a nighttime glam look, and it's a little cooler. So this is the one we're going to look at today. What I like about this one is I like this base cream shade that just allows you to set your lids, diffuse color. I thought from the pictures that this had one of those in it, but it doesn't. These are actually very shimmery, almost like a topper. And these are the shades. So from left to right, you have Go Getter, Wild Child, Fierce, On Fire, and Damn. On this arm, I'm going to show you the Darling Dolly palette. So this is the shades of the Darling Dolly. From left to right, you have Dreamy, you have Charm, Dazzle, Mesmerize, and Wow. So these are a little warmer. See, these are a little cooler, a little more shimmery. So I am using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer Longwear Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 19. So this is the Double Wear Light. I showed you this in a previous video, and I'm still loving and enjoying this. You can apply it easily with your fingertips. And I did get some new Kokie sponges. 5 of them. 2 in this box, 2 in this box, and a single. This should hold Rambo for a while. This has been a beautiful go-to everyday foundation for me. I like that it is sheer, that it is easy to cover just all the redness and mild imperfections, give me sort of that your skin but better look. It lasts all day. Feels like I'm not wearing makeup. Doesn't settle into lines and wrinkles. And this would be in my top 5 foundations for mature skin for sure. Another favorite, this was mentioned by Mel C's Makeup and Style, and it was also mentioned by Steph's Beauty Stash, I believe. This is Elizabeth Arden's Flawless Finish Skincare Concealer Corrector. It is very light. I do suffer from under eye circles, and a lot of times I want a little more coverage than this. But what I like about this is that it's so lightweight. It's beautiful. It does provide a good medium coverage. It does diminish my under eye circles. It doesn't need to be set. It flexes with my skin. I don't find that it wrinkles or settles into lines or cakes or creases. It's just a beautiful concealer. also another kind of your skin but better concealer. Not too thick. It is creamy and emollient. Easy to apply with your fingers. It blends right in. And again, no setting required. Long lasting. Does the job. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful concealer, especially if you don't want heavy layers under your eyes, but you just want a little bit of brightening and a little bit of correcting. I am going to go in with the new palette, Diva Dolly. So this one has a little bit more of a limited color story. I feel like I thought that I might like this one better, but you see this pinky shade is really pretty, but I actually prefer this shade from the Darling Dolly shade, and I absolutely love this taupey mesmerized shade in here. This has like that silvery charcoal gray, has more of a bright magenta. These two, this is more of a silver shimmer, this is a peach color, and this is a white shimmer. To me, more of a top coat. Before this video, I went ahead and applied my Fenty eye primer to both eyes. Sorry I didn't say that for you guys. I wanted to give it some time to sit down. I am going to go into this Darling Dolly, and I'm going to use this shade right here just to set that down. So in my transition, in my crease, for my transition shade, I'm going to use this color right here. This is the color Wild Child. These do have kick up in the pan and a tiny bit of fallout. These are a wet to dry formulation, so if you use them wet, they don't have fallout. This is really a pretty color right here. This peach shade is very similar to that shade in the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 palette, and it applies really well. I'm going to go into that outer corner with this color On Fire. I'm going to use my rougher 1-4 brush. I'm just going to pack it on that outer half of my lid and slightly into the crease. Look how easy that went on. This palette actually is a little more user-friendly than the other palette by Buxom, in my opinion, the Darling Dolly. So I'm going to take a fluffy, clean brush, and I'm just going to diffuse that just a little bit. Just blend it just a tiny bit. I'm going to wet a flat brush with the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up this color, Fierce. And I'm going to take a stiff brush because I want to have control over this color, and I'm going to go in with that grayish charcoal color Damn Dry, and I'm just going to stamp a little bit into that outer V. Now this is a color that I find needs to be built up if you want a high intensity. So that's both good and bad. You get color payoff, but if you want a lot of color payoff, you might want to spray your brush. If you want to build up slowly so that you have more control over the look, then you can use it dry. Then I'm going to go underneath my eyes with this as liner. Just about halfway, kind of to the center of my pupil. I'm going to do the same thing, stamp in that outer V, kind of taking it into the shape of a number 7, backward 7, just to provide some depth to the look. Now I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to blend a little bit. Not a lot. I'm going to take this brush and go back in with that color down, but I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to use it to line my top lash line. Trying not to take up too much real estate, just kind of filling those gaps between my lashes so that I have a little bit of pile. Now I'm going to take in the inner corner and I'm going to go in with that color Go Getter. Also going to wet my brush. This is definitely more like a topper coat. So I'm going to add some mascara. I'm going to go in with the same Cali Ray Compellor High Water Tubing Mascara that you saw me use last time. I'm going to zoom in. So I think that's a pretty look. So I think it's a very wearable dark gray. I'm going to put on a little bit of Buxom blush in the color Mykonos. I love this color. I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer in the color Cinnamon. This is the Stick by Fenty. This is the BK Beauty Brush number 106. And that cinnamon bronzer just has a little bit of shimmer in it. I'm going to go in with the new Jouer limited edition powder that I showed you in the last video. This is the Soft Focus Hydrate and Set Powder. And it's just ambient. It gives you a little bit of a glow without accentuating texture. I think it has a beautiful finish. So on my lips, I'm going to go in with the other lippy that Buxom released at the same time as these two mini Buxom palettes. So one was the cream and one was the gloss. They're both plumping. This is the full-on plumping lip cream in Glamour Teeny. It's really just a soft pink. This is a little more opaque than the other one and very pink. I am going to top it with the other one that I got. This is Dolly Glitz. And this is sparkling. So this is the final look. Foundation is beautiful. I love the powder. I love the mascara. I'm even loving the palette. And I love the lip products. And I always love a Buxom blush, as I said last time. If you haven't seen the video on the Darling Dolly palette, I'm going to link that in the cards at the end. And you can see that one as well if you're interested in possibly picking up one of these releases. Okay, if you're still with me, the other thing that I wanted to say is that coming up, I said that I'm going to start my favorites and fails again at the end of the month. So in those, we're going to do a roundup of only products that I've used during that preceding month. So probably the last week of January or the first week of February, I'll do a roundup and revisit all of the products that I reviewed in January, and we'll see after a month of use how I felt about those products. Am I still loving them? Am I loving them more? Have I changed my mind? That kind of thing. In addition, since I am not a hoarder of makeup, I just can't keep a lot. I don't like to have a lot of clutter around. I try to gift some to the homeless shelter, the women's battered shelter, and usually I'll take a trip a couple of times a year to Children's Hospital and try to donate some of the gently used makeup to the mothers. I'll bring a basket, and some of those mothers taking care of very sick children really appreciate having a little something for themselves. I'm not talking about lipsticks or lip products or mascaras, things that have touched my eyes or, where the product has actually touched my face. I'm talking about a more sanitary, something that you can spray down with alcohol. Right now, because of the Omicron, they're not wanting to accept them yet. So I've been gifting some to family and friends, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to also offer them up to you. So I'm going to say, out of these so many, X number of things that I reviewed this month, these are the few that I'm going to keep in my stash, and these are the ones that I'm going to gift away while they're still gently used. So I'll put them up, and if anyone is interested in them, they can email me. My email is going to be in the description box, and I will send them to you at no cost. It's going to be first one that I receive the email for, because that is going to be timestamped. So I don't want to do comments because it's going to be hard for me to keep up with who asked first for what. So in an email, I can tell which email came in requesting a certain product. And if anybody's interested in having anything that is gently used a couple of times, then I'll pass it on to you internationally as long as I can get it to you. I won't be responsible for anything that breaks or whether or not you receive the package. I'll give you tracking, but willing to share the products that I review with you if that's something that you'd like to take advantage of. I hope that you've had a great week. I don't know if I'll have a video before next Sunday, so once again my filming schedule is going to be once a week, mostly on Sundays, and then every now and then I throw in an extra. So until next time, stay safe. Oh, and I do have my video coming up on parenting adult children. My son has agreed, one of my 3 sons has agreed to collab with me and give me his thoughts on that topic. So I'm waiting to get him with me, and we're going to kind of talk about it together, and I'm going to say what my thoughts are, and he's going to say how he feels about it. Hopefully we got some good information to give you on how you make that transition. And once they're 18, legally, you're not responsible for them anymore. But your heartstrings still make you feel like you are. So and sometimes they still need you as a parent, your guidance, but it's just parenting in a different way. So while I won't be telling you how to parent, I'll be offering you some tips to maintain that closeness and to be a great resource for your adult child without being too invasive and too clingy. Help you make that separation without separating too far. So anyway, I hope to see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that for me. It really helps out. And I'll see you soon. Until then, go out and live like Mel.